of the leader, myself, to step forward, take accountability and make decisions in the best interest of the team for them to go forward. After deep reflection and an honest assessment of where we are and where we need to go, I have decided to step down as the head coach of the Jamaican national team. This decision comes from respect, always the respect of the badge, always the supporters and the players. And sometimes the best thing, a leader perspective, is required to move this team forward. I want to take this moment to this team will succeed.
You cannot have a team playing without a system, playing without a culture, with a coach that doesn't believe in us. That's the truth. We really need to start looking at ourselves as a nation, start to play to what our genetics are, which is speed, creativity, yeah? And we need to start putting in a proper developmental system from the youth. You cannot put a team together in 1.5 weeks for a game. You need to develop the players from they're younger, yeah? Right now, you look at Whisper, it took so long to put the player in, and an immediate impact. Every time the player goes on, it's an immediate impact. So for this guy to not give Whisper 10 minutes, it shows he doesn't even care about winning. He don't feel it like how all of us feel it. He gets up, he goes on a play, then he goes home to his home and he's happy. I look for the next job. We have to get up every day and know that we could have made it to another World Cup and we're not there. We need to put in a proper system, yeah, of development, a proper system of...
Alright, so this is one of the most devastating moments in football history when it comes to Jamaica. What started off as a journey to the World Cup ended in a nightmare, ended in a disaster. And no Jamaicans would ever expect this. You get me? And this was one of the saddest moments in football for Jamaicans. Alright, so welcome back to another installment. Jamaica lost to Curacao by a draw and finished second in the table with 11 points, and Curacao finished 12 points and automatically qualified for the World Cup. And this honestly cannot say, honestly can say Jamaica performed good, without a doubt. Most people are saying that Jamaica didn't perform good, but Jamaica performed good. Jamaica went into the match with the mindset of winning. They went in the match with a mindset of going to the World Cup. All of them, the players were confident. Three shots hit the bar. That goes to show that Jamaica was definitely attacking. That goes to show that Jamaica really wanted this win. We got a wonderful performance from Shaman Nicholson. Could have been a little bit better, but the performance was wasn't what we expected. But it happened, and we're in the playoff rounds, and we're gonna go up against Honduras and Suriname so far. You get me, also? So to be honest, all hope is not gone. This is basically our second chance. Well, this is our third chance. The second chance is to beat Curacao. We didn't fulfill that goal to beat Curacao. Curacao came in also with the mindset of wanted to go to the World Cup. So they played as if they were going to the World Cup. Although I can say we played a better ball game. We had more possessions, and although Curacao had more shots on target, I would say our attacking chances were more better. I have to give a big shout out to the keeper, Andre Blake. He was one of those players, one of the players on the field, the goalkeeper that really saves 4 shots, and really helped Jamaica to reach at the level they wanted to reach. Players like Dixon that didn't make an impact, but players like Dujan Richards that made an impact, really changed the game. And Bro, to be honest, I just one of those things, bro. It's just one of those things. I think the World Cup is one of those things where your side have to literally be ready. The side has to be ready, the coach has to be ready for you to make it and to surpass in the World Cup. And as I said in my last video, I said that Steve McLaren need to be sacked. And most people are saying that, why are you saying that he's a good coach? You're not a coach, so why do you know what? You get me? I say, so this has proved that he's not ready for the task. This has proved that he's not ready for the task. And if he's going to resign after, that goes to show that he wasn't with the team in the beginning. Because as much as you didn't help us to reach at the level that we wanted to reach at by qualifying for the World Cup, we're still a team. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter which team you're at. Once you're at a stage where you're helping a team to qualify for the World Cup, it's gonna be a lot of bad comment, bad criticism, good criticism as also. But once, bro, a World Cup in him, this thing happen, and every year this thing happen. This happen once in a while. And for a country that have been to the World Cup once, it definitely gonna be a number one goal for us. And Jamaica has gives Steve McLaren a second chance after the CONCACAF World Cup, after we lost that, and we use this opportunity to give him a second chance. He said, all right, let us qualify for the World Cup. We're good. But I totally agree with Craig Butler. I think Steve McLaren is not ready for the job, bro. Steve McLaren is literally not good for the job. Alright, so Steve McLaren has resigned as Jamaica head coach right after Jamaica lost to Curacao, sending Curacao to the World Cup and Jamaica to the playoffs. Alright, so there has been a lot of criticism against Steve McLaren. And basically brought it on himself. Basically brought it on himself. There's been a lot of match that Steve McLaren has fumbled that has cost us our World Cup qualifier spot. And the first match I would say was the match against Curacao. I think the starting lineup for Jamaica squad has been one of the biggest setbacks in this tournament. We have a lot of talents, and it's like you don't know how to use the talents, but yet still he is complimenting players and saying that players are the best, but yet still they're not getting any games. And I think it started from Curacao when we played Curacao at home, and he left out names like Shaman Nicholson, Kaim Dixon, and Dujon Richards. And in a lot of different instances, coaches, players, fans, everybody's saying the same thing. Why are you benching the best players? And I totally understand everybody's tactics are different. But if you're using a tactic and it's not working, why are you constantly using it? And the second mistake he made was similar because it was all due to the lineup, you know, against Trinidad and Tobago. He constantly benching the players that are making the biggest impact on the field. Bro, I've been saying this from the World Cup start. I've been saying this from the World Cup start. He's benching the players that are making the biggest impact. And I don't understand how does that make sense. Players that are making the biggest impact, you're benching them. That doesn't make sense. And now Jamaica has lost their fight to automatically qualify for the World Cup, and Curacao has taken our place when we were the better team to win. We were the ones that should make it to the World Cup. Bro, this is one of the most, as I said, this is one of the most devastating moments in football history. There's no way we would have expected